of the easiest things you can do online recently, especially, is get canceled. It's so easy, in fact, you could do it without even having an audience. Well, also the second easiest thing is to subscribe to Advil on YouTube, so you should probably try that. But it's so easy to get canceled for pretty much nothing most of the time. Anyways, off topic. Do you guys know Slimecicle? Slimecicle, huge YouTuber, massive. If you don't know who that is, he is a personality creator who came from doing Minecraft and being a part of Call Me Carson's group called Lunch Club. He's known for a lot of different things, various games, streaming, being on the original Chuckle Sandwich with Jay Schlatt and Ted Navision. He's pretty non-controversial, actually. Surprisingly, I know. He was a former Minecrafter, and he was friends with Call Me Carson and Jay Schlatt. I don't know how the fuck he managed that. But a few days ago, Slimecicle completely shifted that perception of himself. It actually got officially canceled on Twitter. And I just gotta say, I'm proud of you, bro. That's amazing. That's like the one place I'm shocked he hasn't gotten canceled yet. But you might be wondering, Advil, how did he get canceled? What heinous and evil things did he do? What disgusting acts did this guy commit? Look at him. He just has evil in his heart. I can smell it. I can see it emanating off of him. This evil, disgusting man. This absolute piece of shit. He unmodded his unpaid mods without warning them. Yeah, pretty much. On April 12th, a bunch of his mods came forward and said during October of last year, he unmodded them without much warning and asked them to kind of keep quiet about it until around this time. And a lot of the mods went fucking nuclear, made massive threads talking about how much it hurt them, what a piece of shit he is, etc., etc., etc. And from that spun into a full-on cancel parade against him. And this is where the issues come in, from my opinion. Not only did he get canceled for nothing, they also dug into his personal life to find things to also be mad at him about. But before we get into that, let's break down the mod thing, because it's really simple, but I think I need to cover that first. So a few of his mods came forward and said that October last year that he unadded them as mods and decided to mod some of his friends. And I can understand with zero context, that might seem a little iffy. That might be a little morally gray to just completely remove someone from their job. There's a lot of streamers who pay their mods to do work for them and keep them on as employees, because mods do a lot of work. I know it might not seem like it, but being a mod isn't just sitting there reading chat. It's a lot of work, especially with bigger creators. But with context, it's absolutely fucking nothing. The issue is, not only did Slimecicle not fucking pay his mods, the only time he streamed since October when he removed the mods was the day that all this information came out. Maybe he streamed on a different account, different platform that I don't know about, but from everything I've been able to find, he barely even streamed. And so it's weird, in my opinion, for this to be a massive canceling campaign. And I'll get into why I think there is in a minute. Not only were they canceling him for that, they were trying to cancel him for his girlfriend, which has a little bit more lore, and I'll unpack that now. This is Jinx. Jinx is allegedly Slimecicle's girlfriend. And what I mean by allegedly is, we don't know. They've never made it official. They never claimed to be official, but the fans have kind of dug into their personal to try to find some kind of proof, some kind of something of them dating. And while there are screenshots from Jinx's stories, I think it's kind of insane to do that, but we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. Now, Jinx is a cosplayer. She's huge in the LA creator scene. A lot of people know her. A lot of people are friends with her. And Jinx has an infamous history on Twitter. She is kind of a little controversial. Not the first controversial girlfriend I've talked about, actually. Maybe I hate women. No. Jinx, if you're unaware, got canceled or got in some trouble for following a few controversial people on Twitter. A lot of them being artists, and a lot of them making NSFW art of Slimecicle and his friends. Not only that, some of the people that she followed made NSFW art of quote-unquote younger people and had no issue with sexual assault content and lolly and all that stuff. And if I'm being honest, I do give a point to the Slimecicle fans. It is kind of bad. She comes across kind of insane. I mean, a lot of the content is pretty bad, and it's not a good look for her to follow that. But from that, there was a huge thread that came out exposing Jinx as a fucked up person for liking weird art of minor anime characters, and she made a response, and that response did not help her case at all, honestly. Now, the reason it didn't help is because a lot of the people that Jinx was following claimed that pretty much all their content was NSFW content about Slimecicle and his friends, other creators in that space. And in Jinx's response, she said that she had no idea that they made content like this, that she only probably followed them for one or two innocent reasons. She just didn't see that they had posted that kind of disgusting content. Now, the issue with this is the only evidence from that thread about Jinx is a blurred out screenshot of a response from an account that we don't know. There's no screenshots showing NSFW content, nothing like that. It's purely just responses. And a whole list of other things that really aren't as important, in my opinion, about Jinx that were brought up. And this thread is the main source of why people say that Jinx is a terrible person him, and why Slimecicle is a terrible person for allegedly dating her. The amount of tweets that were coming out saying that not only did Slimecicle remove all of his mods, but is also dating a terrible, terrible person, was majority of the tweets about the entire situation. With a lot of them framing it like he's dating an actual pedophile or some kind of predator, it was kind of fucking insane. And in my opinion, it felt more like they were trying to find an actual valid reason to hate Slimecicle, because the mod thing isn't really anything. Now, after laying out everything and the context behind everything as best as I can, the one opinion I have is that it all seems pretty fucking stupid. At least from a POV of criticizing Slimecicle. I don't think any of it is fair criticism. If you have a problem with Jinx, a moral problem with the things that she's into or the things that she likes or the people that she interacted with, that is completely fine. And I think there's a solid and fair argument there. I think it is completely fine to have a problem with Jinx. And even I, if she was someone that was on my radar, probably would have made a video on her. Honestly. Especially her following weird accounts who are pretty okay with some non-savory material like pedophilia, lolly, incest, stuff like that. I think she needs to have a better response for that, because the response she made was pretty dog shit. But also there's so much stuff in this thread that completely muddies the integrity of it at all. Like, one of my favorites and one of the worst ones is they found her account on an NSFW AI website where they tried to make the claim that all the AI that she would roleplay with were minors, even though in the prompts that you can give to these AI, pretty much all of them were above 18 in the prompts. And so in my opinion, if they're trying to make the claim that she's into pedophilic content and she's a weird pedo lolly person, why wouldn't she write these AI prompts to make the AI act like they're a little kid versus explicitly stating that this AI is above the age of consent? Not even above the age of consent, not like a weird gray area with 18. Most of them were around 20 to 22, around her age. I don't even know why the fuck I'm arguing this. It's so stupid. It's fucking AI. Holy shit. But Slimecicle, in my opinion, shouldn't have been involved in any of this. And you might be wondering, but Advil, you made an entire video about Pyrocynical and his girlfriend and how he's guilty just as much as she is. That is a fair criticism to make of me, of the Pillman. But let me compare and contrast the differences between these two. If you are aware, Pyrocynical's girlfriend got in trouble for scamming some of his fans and not delivering on art commissions that she was paid to do. And I called out her and Pyrocynical for these things. And the reason I called them out is not because she just so happens to be dating Pyrocynical, but because he heavily promoted it. He heavily promoted these commissions and heavily promoted her. But Slimecicle, not only is it not really public that those two are dating, he's not made a single post, tweet, response, anything promoting her. So with Pyrocynical and his girlfriend, he was directly involved in the controversy. He was the direct catalyst for the controversy. But with Slimecicle and his girlfriend, if these people did not dig into his private life and try to find proof or try to find something that vilifies him that no one would have even known. Most of his audience don't even know that he has a girlfriend. So I don't understand why it's his fault at all. And we're not even 100% sure if they're still dating. The part of that thread where they said that they're dating and official happened in August of last year. Who fucking knows what happens? And that's the issue with this entire argument against him and this girl, is that we don't fucking know what happens, which is good. We shouldn't know what the fuck is going on. And again, I want to clarify that if you have a problem with Jinx and the things that she has done and the people that she follows, that is completely fine. I'm not taking that away from you, but he should have zero involvement with any of that. And this leads me to my next point. This weird parasocialism that's become really popular in the past couple years. Superfans of a specific demographic of creator have this yearning, this need to police every little thing that they do, which is funny coming from me. I'm not saying calling out your favorite creator is bad. It's not. It's what I do for a job. It's how I get paid. But please subscribe. I need money. And this might be a hot take to some people, but I think it's good when audiences check creators when they're going out of line or to make sure that they keep in line the promises and the reputation that they have. I think that's all good. The issue is with this and similar audiences and similar types of fans, they become power hungry. This need and this hunger to use whatever power that they feel like they have to constantly criticize and ridicule streamers and content creators that they enjoy for doing the most mundane and nothing things. I'll give a perfect example. Jay before any of these Twitter fucks knew about the Palestine and Israel conflict, made a joke about Palestine. No one said anything about it for years until they found it recently and blew it up to be a massive thing. It had nothing to do with what was happening last year or this year. It was completely unrelated to any of the new conflict recently, but people took that and lost their shit over it. Why? Because they felt like they could and they felt like they should for no goddamn reason. It's completely toxic not only for the creator, it creates this terrible toxic relationship between your audience and yourself, but also it's completely toxic for any fan base. It's one of the worst things that come from this new era of content creation. Now, the real question is, what does any of that or any of this really have to do with Slimecicle? Slimecicle. This video is framed around Slimecicle. So what does this really have to do with him? Why am I making a video about this when it's really not a big deal? I mean, shit, he didn't even stream for a few months. He faked VODs on his VOD channel to avoid streaming, and he recently started back. When the massive mod cancellation happened, he started back streaming, and he's been consistently streaming. So why does any of this matter? It seems to have not affected him at all. And that's fair. And the Slimecicle thing is not really a big deal. In the entirety of YouTube drama and Slimecicle's career, it's just a blip. I think it's great and good for creators to be called out when they're fucking up. 100%. And I will be the last person who thinks that right should be taken away from audiences. It is extremely important for when creators are fucking up, for people, audiences, and creators like me to call them out. But the issue is when you dilute the well of actual criticism and actual issues that the creators have created, such meaningless, small bullshit that doesn't add anything to anything. That's when it becomes a problem. There's so many creators who have had actual real issues brought against them, actual real allegations brought against them, and it gets muddied down so fucking much by these fake nothing arguments all the time. Like hypothetically, if there's a creator who wore a lot of green and had a smile on his face for years, had meaningless bullshit, just stupid things thrown at him constantly for years, and then he finally actually does something bad. Who will take that seriously at all? Or even if it's an ex-commentary YouTuber who likes fat furries, or the million other hypothetical creators who have had things like this happen for years, who get the real allegations put in with the mud with these fake nothing points against them. And so with that, let me get to my final points. Let me get to my final conclusion about this whole thing, about this whole type of mentality with content creation recently. No one who's a real actual person who exists outside of Minecraft, YouTube, or Twitter even gives a fuck, probably doesn't even know about it. The issue is audiences have a certain amount of leeway with the creator that they represent. Let me explain what I mean. If there's a creator who rarely gets backlash like Slimecicle, and then suddenly he does something bad, he is more likely to listen to it because his fan base rarely gives criticism. But if they're constantly getting random bullshit that means nothing, they're not gonna listen when they actually do something bad. Like if a creator who constantly gets random bullshit drops a video where they have terrible points, have terrible ideas, or drops a cryptocurrency, or promotes a scam, they're not gonna listen to it because they're constantly getting nitpicked. And people outside of their community aren't gonna listen to it because if they're constantly getting into fake shit that doesn't matter, that to a normal person like me doesn't mean shit, no one's gonna cover it because it's most likely bullshit. And so yes, I implore you, if you are a fan of a creator, be able to discern what is real and what is bullshit, and use every single ounce of power that you have as an audience member to call out creators that you like when they actually do something bad. That power is the best thing for you as an audience member and for the creator, so they can learn and actually know when they're fucking up. But for Slimecicle, for unmodding his mods, which I can understand is annoying and upsetting for the mods who poured in so much time and years and dedication into this job that they cared a lot about. I can understand that, and to them I feel genuine sympathy. But it did not deserve to be this big thing, and even they fucking agree. At the end of the day, Slimecicle specifically needs to work on his communication as a creator, especially when you're getting people in your audience to do things for you for free, with their free time. But in the same point, his audience needs to get out of his fucking business and only criticize him when things are real. Man, I'm so philosophical and freaking awesome. I'm pretty sure that's it for me today. I appreciate you watching. This whole Slimecicle thing is so strange, and I really appreciate you guys watching all this. My last video completely flopped, so please, if you haven't already, go check that out. It's about influencers getting paid by political candidates and political parties around the world. It's really good. One of my best videos in a while, I think. So please just try to get it some traction. It makes me want to kill myself. And I've been streaming a lot recently on YouTube, so if you want to check that out, so please come hang out. I'm trying to stream 2 or 3 times a week, so if you see me live, please come hang out, and make sure you see me live, and to make sure you see my next videos, make sure to subscribe. And while you're down there, like, maybe send this video to a dream stand, a Slimecicle fan that you know. It would be pretty cool. Again, I appreciate you watching. Make sure to subscribe, do all the shit I talked about earlier, and I think that's it for me today. Again, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time, all right? Bye-bye!
Breakfast with a bitch named Tiffany, Wrist game is thin cause it's ivory, Got your mommy with me now, irony, Trying to pipe my dentist, fake a cavity, What? I got my panties up, and you withdrew. I got my panties up, and you withdrew. I got my panties up, and you withdrew. I got my panties up, so I'm the center of attention.